You're witnessing episode 8 of the Andy's Corner podcast. That's right, it's the next episode, but it's not Dr. Dre or Snoop bringing it to you. It's your boy Ty Finney, aka The Legend. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before I get started and before I get into this session, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to start with the news, and I'm going to start off with the fights from a couple of weeks ago. And before I even get into the fights, I want to send my prayers and my condolences out to uh, the family and friends of Buddy Harrison. For those of you who don't know him, he was the father and trainer to professional boxer Dusty Harrison. And from what I understand, he was shot and killed in front of his home. So this makes like three deaths in the boxing community. You know what I'm saying? This makes three deaths. We had Lorenzo Smith, aka T Diddy, who was shot and killed in Texas. We had David Lemieux's father, who was shot and killed in Canada, and now Buddy Harrison. So that's three deaths in the boxing community. That all lost their lives to gun violence. So something really has to change. Something really needs to change. So again, I send my prayers and my condolences out to the family and friends of Buddy Harrison. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Uh, 2 weeks ago, we had Shakur Stevenson versus Rosen on ESPN. And prior to that fight, I didn't know too much about Rosen. I know a lot of people were saying that he really beat Valdez, but leading up to this fight, a lot of people were saying this was Shakur Stevenson's toughest test. And after watching that fight, I believe he was a good test for Shakur Stevenson. Rosen, he had a real unorthodox style. He was throwing big shots. Like every time Shakur was throwing a shot, Rosen would counter it. Move to the left, move to the right. So he was definitely throwing big shots in that fight. And a lot of people were saying that Shakur Stevenson was very unprofessional. Because he didn't make weight, so he basically had to vacate the titles. But Shakur Stevenson was saying his body can't make the weight no more. So now he's moving up in weight. But we've seen this with a lot of fighters. We can't write fighters off just because they didn't make weight. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite fighters, didn't make weight for the fights. We could take Javante Tank Davis. He's one of my favorite fighters, and Tank hasn't made weight, on a few different occasions. And also Sean Porter. Sean Porter is like, to me, is like, one hell of a fighter, two-time former champion. You know what I'm saying? Two-time champion. And Sean Porter is very, very, very disciplined. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make weight. I believe it was against Ugas, and but they gave him like an hour or so to try to make weight. And I know he went backstage and they say he cut his braids off or something, and he came back and he made weight. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is it's a lot of fighters out there, who don't make weight. But it's some fighters who make weight, and then they blow up and be like 15 pounds heavier on fight night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of fans were writing Shakur off because he didn't make weight. But as he said, that he's moving up in weight now. So hopefully in the future we can see some big fights for Shakur Stevenson. The likes of Tank or Devin Haney. Those sort of guys. So yeah, also we had Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker. That fight was in the UK, and leading up to this fight, I wasn't a big fan of Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a big fan, but I definitely became a fan. When he fought Joe Joyce, and big ups to Joe Joyce. I was predicting for Joe Joyce to get a stoppage, and I was right in my prediction. Um, yeah, that was one hell of a knockout. I knew that Joseph Parker wasn't going to get up from that knockdown. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to Joe Joyce. You know, Joe Joyce has definitely stepped up in competition, and he's beating all the guys they put in front of him. You know, he's beating Daniel, he's beating Bryant Jennings, he's beating former heavyweight champion Bermaine Stavern. You know what I'm saying? He's beating Christian Hammer, and now he was the first fighter to knock out Joseph Parker. So big ups to Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Joe Joyce. You know, I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen in his career next. Who I like to see him fight. That's a tough one to call, considering, you know, the heavyweight division isn't really his stat. I would say maybe a Odo Wallen, you know, a fighter of that caliber. I would like to see him fight. Maybe Anthony Joshua. But yeah, the thing with Joe Joyce is, you know, he's an older fighter. He's 37. He doesn't have that many fights under his belt, and he's real slow. But you know, those he's got so much power. You know, those big shots, you know, they wear you down. They wear you down, and then, you know, later on in the fight, he's going to eventually stop you, like we saw with Joseph Parker. But the thing with Joe Joyce, he's very slow though. He's real slow. But yeah, so big ups to Joe Joyce, man. He's definitely the juggernaut, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in Joe Joyce's future. So let's see what else I can get into. Yeah, so as far as Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, you know, we got the news that the fight is not going to happen on November 19th. I'm hearing that it's going to happen maybe in December or in January, but you know, who really knows for sure. But as far as what's going on with that fight, man, you know, I really don't know. From what I understand, that Crawford isn't getting a good offer. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting a good offer. But you know, from what I understand, he's trying to make the fight happen. But you know, to me, it seems like the PBC side is the one to blame right now, because you know, when Terence Crawford was with Bob Arum, you know, a lot of people were saying Bob Arum is the reason, you know, for these big fights not happening, and now Crawford's a free agent. You know what I'm saying? He's not with Bob Arum anymore, and the fight is still not happening. But if it does, let's just say it does happen in December, you know, I'm cool with it, because if it happens in December, it's like we get an early Christmas gift, you know what I'm saying? And that's a good way to end 2022. And if it happens in January 2023, then that's a good way to start the year off, you know what I'm saying? But you know, boxing fans are definitely getting impatient. You know, everybody's, you know, ready for this fight to happen now. You know, this is a fight that should have happened years ago. You're talking about, you know, two of the best top welterweights in the world, and you know, the fight still hasn't been announced yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a waiting game. You know what I'm saying? You know, the fans are definitely getting very impatient. But if you watch the video with Max Kellerman and Mike, and they can definitely give you more details if you haven't seen that video on why this fight hasn't happened yet. See what else I can get into. Yeah, also Adrien Broner came out, and you know, and called out Nate Diaz, and you know, he's basically trying to get Diaz to cross over from UFC into boxing, and Broner's challenging him to a fight. But here's the thing though, Broner just recently pulled out the fight with Omar Figueroa, so you got to ask yourself, has he gotten over his mental health, and has he sought help for his mental health? So you know, it's really unpredictable with Broner. And also, I saw on Instagram that him and Montana Love are taking shots at each other. Now they're trading words at each other. But you know, I wouldn't want to see that fight. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to see that fight. But I do think it would be hard to make anyway, because you know, Broner is with PBC, and Montana Love is with DAZN. So you know, they're with two different promotional companies. Yeah, but we seen state versus state, and town versus town. I don't like to see that happen, but if the fighters don't got no other options, then that's it makes sense to fight somebody from the state or fight somebody from their own city. Like we seen this with Brian Jennings and Joey DeVica. That was Philly versus Philly, and we also seen this with Maurice Hooker versus Virgil Ortiz. That was Texas versus Texas. I was at that fight. I was at that fight live. You know what I mean? The fans were definitely on Virgil Ortiz side. Adrien Broner versus Montana Love. That's definitely not a fight that I would like to see happen. But if they don't have any other options, and they can make the fight happen, then make it happen. Then we'll get Ohio versus Ohio. But also, Richardson Hitchens, he just signed with the Zone, and he's fighting on Montana Love's undercard. So that's going to be a stat card. That's next month in November. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember a while back, I believe Montana Love and Richardson Hitchens, they traded words. They had some words with each other. I think Richardson Hitchens was saying something like he's made more money, in one fight than Love has made in his whole career. Something like that. I can't really remember, but if Richardson Hitchens wins his fight on the undercard, and Montana Love wins his fight, then that's definitely a fight that should happen, for 2023, because they both signed with Eddie Hearn, so that fight should be real easy to make. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, for those of you who haven't seen Floyd's exhibition, his last one, check that out. Like when I seen it, I just seen the highlights. I did try to catch it live when it came on, but when I turned it on, they were just announcing all the guys over there. They were just announcing all these people, like who they were and stuff like that. It was just taking a long time to get to the fight. So I didn't watch it. I ended up changing it. But yeah, if you watch that exhibition, man, like we all know Floyd is the greatest defensive boxer. You know what I mean? His he's all about hitting and not get hit. So we know Floyd's the best. He's the best defensive fighter out there. But Floyd is basically taking all these exhibitions because he's older and he can't compete. He can't compete with the young guys anymore. You know what I'm saying? So taking these exhibitions, is an easy payday for him. It's not like real boxing rules. It's not like they're going to 4 12 rounds. It's different. It's different from real boxing. You know what I mean? He's not really trying to put himself in a position where he could take serious punishment. But if you watch Floyd's last exhibition, man, it was funny. Like when I seen it, man, I was cracking up, man, because like Floyd was getting caught with some big shots in that fight, man. Big shots. Like he was caught in the body. So I'm asking myself, was he letting this guy do this to him, or what? I mean, was he just seriously getting caught? But Floyd, I believe he's 45. And he's already got a next exhibition next month in November, so he's back at it again. But Floyd, he's definitely got to be careful, man. He's got to be careful. He can seriously end up getting hurt, because if we see Mayweather get knocked out or something, man, that's gonna shock the boxing world. Even though this isn't really a real fight, but it's an exhibition. So yeah, if you haven't seen that Floyd's last exhibition, man, check that out. Check the highlights of that fight out, man. He was getting caught with some serious shots. So yeah, let's see what else I can get into. Yeah, as far as news for this week, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank is off. It's called off now because Conor Benn obviously he's tested positive for PEDs. And I was looking at some different links. And on one end I was hearing that the fight is still a go, and he has to do a second sample or a B sample. If he tests clean, then the fight's a go. But I think it's officially announced that that fight isn't going to happen now. So we had so many fights this year. Like 2022 is definitely a year where we had so many fights that's been canceled, called off, or setbacks. This week is Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn. Like I said, because for Conor Benn tested positive for PEDs. We had Adrien Broner versus Omar Figueroa. That fight fell out, due to Broner's mental health. We had who else? Hassan Rahman versus Jake Paul. That fight fell out, due to weight issues, and also we had Mickey Bay versus Tevin Farmer. I'm not sure why that fight didn't happen, but I believe it had something to do with the fighters not getting paid, and a lot of fighters on the undercard not getting paid. So yeah, and I'm sure it's a lot more, but yeah, this year has definitely been a year, where a lot of fights have been canceled, called off. Also, Demetrius Andre, I was looking forward to see Demetrius Andre fight, but now his fight just been called off due to he wasn't satisfied with the purse. For what I understand, the purse bid was for like 300 some thousand or something like that. And but at the end of the day, I think I read that Andrew was only going to get paid like somewhere around 180,000. So he's not gonna, a fighter of his caliber, he's not gonna take that kind of payday. So that fights off with his opponent. So 2022 is definitely a disappointment. As far as a lot of fights, that the fans wanted to see that keeps getting canceled or called off. Hopefully 2023, we'll have a good run of boxing, a good run of fights, and Errol, like you're saying, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. It's not called off, but the fans are disappointed. The fans are ready to see this fight now. Everybody's really impatient. So, see what else I can get into. Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to get into. If you seen my interview with professional heavyweight boxer Malik Titus from Baltimore, Maryland, uh, he definitely refreshed my memory because we was talking about in the interview, we was talking about the fighter that died, the fighter that passed after his fight. He was a Russian fighter, I believe his name was Matson, and he passed a few days after his fight with Matthias. Um, yeah, so we had a lot of boxers. We had a lot of boxers that's died in this ring. So it's a lot of fighters that died in the ring. It's just been announced that another fighter, I believe his name was Louis Quinones or something like that. He just had a fight and he passed away from after his fight. So as boxing fans, we definitely have to pray. We have to pray for the health and the safety of these fighters. Because you know how when fighters get in the ring, when they get in the ring, they go to the corner and start praying. We as boxing fans, we need to pray for the safety and for the health of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because fighters have died in that ring. You know what I mean? So we have yeah. So anyway, what I learned from the interview with Malik Titus is that fight was actually on ESPN. I remember it happening in Austin here in Maryland, but it was actually on ESPN. So yeah, the Russian fighter Matson, he died after his fight with Matthias. So that's Matson that's passed away after a fight. We just got to fight Louis Quinones. He just passed away after a fight. There was a Nigerian boxer that died after a sparring session. Patrick Day passed away after his fight with Charles Conwell. So yeah, that's four fighters right there. So you know, we definitely have to pray. We have to pray for the safety. We have to pray for the safety and the health of these fighters. You know what I mean? Because we all want, at the end of the day, we all want to entertain and fight. That's what boxing does for us. It entertains us. You know what I mean? We're fans, but we definitely have to pray. We have to pray for these fighters. We have to pray for their safety because fighters get taken out on stretchers. They get rushed to the hospital. after these fights, you can get seriously hurt. Fighters slur their words. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to get at is, we definitely have to pray. When it's an upcoming fight, we're gonna be happy for an entertaining fight. But before the fight starts, we definitely have to pray for the health and the safety of these fighters. So yeah, and far as Matthias, Matthias has like I believe his record is like uh 18. I think he's like 18 wins or so with like I think he has one loss, but he has like all knockouts in his fight. So yeah, so I seen Matthias fight live. I seen Matthias fight live on the Gary Russell and Mark Masayo undercard in Atlantic City, New Jersey. This was back in January. And Matthias hasn't had a fight since then. And can anybody tell me why Matthias has been inactive? Because it's almost a year later and he still hasn't fought. Man, Matthias, he definitely has the power. And after that fight was over, when I was headed back, when I was getting ready to leave the venue, I saw Matthias in the hallway. He had a lot of fans around him. A lot of fans were getting pictures with him. Yeah, I could have definitely got a picture with him, but he already had so many people and so many fans around him. You know what I mean? Hopefully next time. But yeah, but can anybody tell me why Matthias has been inactive? You know what I'm saying? Seems like he was on a decent run. Like I said, he's got a lot of power, and my very first podcast that I was invited on the Goodfellas podcast, they were talking about Matthias versus Malik Hawkins, and Malik Hawkins is from Baltimore. And, when they were talking about that, I was like, who is this guy, Malik Hawkins from Baltimore? So like after that episode was over, I went on YouTube and I watched, and I was like, damn man, I actually did watch this fight, but when they were actually talking about it on the podcast, I didn't even know. So sometimes when you do these podcasts or when you listen to podcasts, it can definitely refresh your memory about past fights that you probably already seen before. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what else I can get into. Yeah, so if you seen Jamel Charlo, y'all already know Jamel Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. I've said this numerous times. Jamel Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. He's beaten all the champions by knockout. You know what I'm saying? He's beaten Rosario. He stopped Rosario by a jab to the body. He's beaten Brian Castano in devastating fashion. You know what I'm saying? So he's knocked out Tony Harrison and got his revenge and his redemption. So Jamel Charlo is one hell of a fighter, man. His power is crazy. I'm looking forward to see his fight with Tim Tszyu in January 2023. But yeah, Jamel came out and made a statement that Terence Crawford should move up and wait and fight Lubin. I mean, to me, that was a stupid statement. You know what I mean? Because Lubin just lost to Fundora, and Fundora had Lubin look face messed up so bad, and like his face looked like it was deformed. You know what I'm saying? So, and at this point, Lubin is chinny. You know what I'm saying? Because Jamel knocked him out in the first round. You know what I'm saying? So Lubin is definitely chinny. You know what I'm saying? So for Jamel to come out and say that, man, that was a stupid statement. You know what I'm saying? The fans don't want to see Crawford versus Lubin. The fans are focusing on, Crawford and Spence trying to get made. So let's see what else I can get into. Yeah, and when I was on the Goodfellas podcast episode, I believe it was episode 120. That they were talking about, Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz. And, since Luis Ortiz got another loss, they were talking about some potential opponents for him for the future. And, I said Odo Wallen, and, they mentioned Michael Coffey, they mentioned Johnny Rice. But I think if Luis Ortiz wants to make a serious comeback, I believe Gerald Washington would be a good test for him. You know what I mean? Even though I believe Washington isn't a great fighter at this point, I believe him and Luis Ortiz would be a good fight. Yeah, I think him and Ortiz would be a good fight. Washington, he has the reach, he has the height, but he just doesn't use it to his advantage. You know what I'm saying? And with Ortiz coming off a loss, I think, and Jared Washington coming off a loss, I think that would be a nice easy fight to make. Since they both with PBC. So yeah, if Ortiz wants to continue his career, I think Jared Washington is definitely a solid opponent for him. Just to see where he's at. But as far as him getting that title shot, that's definitely over, man. He's not going to get that title shot now. He's already had 2 shots at Wilder and he's lost both times. And I mean, and then he just lost to Andy Ruiz, and he's chinny at this point. He was knocked down twice against Charles Martin. He was knocked down 3 times against Andy Ruiz, and he was knocked down both times. And he was knocked down both times in the Wilder fight. So yeah, it's sad to see, to be honest, because Luis Ortiz was once proclaimed to be the boogeyman in the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? But now the boogeyman has been dropped in so many fights. You know what I'm saying? But Luis Ortiz he's an older fighter though. You know what I mean? We don't really know how old he is. You know what I'm saying? Because people say Ortiz is really 50 plus years old, but he's earned my respect. To be 50 plus. If he's really 50 plus years old, he's earned my respect. To get off the canvas 3 times and fight Andy Ruiz to the distance. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to Luis Ortiz. You know what I mean? If he's really a 50-something-year-old fighter, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely earned my respect, and especially to beat Charles Martin, by knockout. So yeah, big ups to Luis Ortiz. Let me see what else I can get into. Yeah, I got a lot of shout outs to give. Now, I've been doing this podcast for almost 30 minutes. So, I'm gonna hop off here in a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna hop on the Goodfellas podcast if they still doing it. I asked G5 Jeff TV, the Goodfellas podcast, if he wanted to jump on with me, but he's already doing his own episode. So once I end this session, I'm gonna try to jump on there and see if they still doing their podcast. Let's see. He said send you the link. All right, man. I'm gonna send you the link, man. Give me a second, bro. I didn't even see your comment, man. I was so in the zone. I'm gonna send you the link now, bro. I was so in the zone, man. I didn't even see your comment. I sent you the link, man. Yeah, G5 Jeff T's in the building. He said, shoot me the link. He said, not sure, bro. Why the layoff? That's my guy. He said, Ortiz versus Jared Washington, a good comeback. Feel good fight for Ortiz. He should win. I agree, man, because Washington is so terrible at this point. G5 Jeff T, send me the link, bro. I jumped off mine to jump on yours. All right, bro. I sent you the link. I sent it to you on IG, and I sent it to you by text, man. So yeah, while I'm waiting on him to jump on, I'm gonna just go ahead and get into these shout outs. I had a lot of shout outs to give. Let me see. Yeah, I want to send a big shout out to Malik Titus for being the first professional boxer to come on my podcast. That was definitely a great moment for me. I don't even have 10 episodes yet, and I already got a professional boxer. I already had an interview with a professional boxer. So I feel real good about that. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Malik Titus, and yeah, follow him on Facebook, and follow his career. His fight, his last fight was previously it was called off. Due to some circumstances that I don't even want to get into. So yeah, big shout out to Amir Young. Big shout out to Lori Walker. Big shout out to Ralph. Big shout out to New. Big shout out to Marky Mark. Big shout out to Dina Dream. Big shout out to Ethan. Big shout out to Sherelle. Big shout out to Adrien. Big shout out to all you guys, man, because all you guys subscribe, man. So I really appreciate all y'all. Y'all all subscribe. Appreciate that. Uh, Also, big shout out to Katrina. Big shout out to Katrina. She's watched every single one of my episodes. She's watched my interview with Malik Titus. So big shout out to Katrina. Also, big shout out to Ryan Hanley, and big shout out to Jerona, aka Lady G. They came on episode 7 and left a lot of comments. So appreciate you guys, for tuning in and watching my videos. So, I'm waiting on G5 to hop in. I said that's why he's laughing, man. I was actually gonna jump off mine and see if he was still going, but now he's saying he jumped off his to jump on mine. So like I said, I sent him the link, so hopefully he'll jump on. Yeah, man, I was so in his zone, man. I didn't even see him commenting. Yeah, but this weekend we got Fundora versus Ocampa. And Fundora is he's a tall fighter. A lot of people say he doesn't look like he can take a shot, but Fundora is, to me, he's definitely gonna have a good run. He's definitely gonna have a good run in the division. I mean, he's so tall. And you would expect a fighter like him to, use his reach, use his height. But Fundora's different, man. He'll stay in the pocket with you and trade, So big shout out to Fundora, man. He's fighting Carlos Ocampa. Ocampa, like I said, I don't know too much about him, but when he fought Errol Spence in his hometown in Texas, he was knocked out by a body shot like the first round. But he's going on a crazy win streak. So I'm really excited to see that fight this weekend. We was gonna have 2 fights this weekend, but Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, that's off now. So now we got Fundora versus Ocampo on Showtime. So I was actually more interested in that fight. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I was more interested in that fight because Fundora, I'm a huge fan. All right, G5 said send the link again, bro. It's not working. All right, give me a second, man. Give me 1 second. One second, bro. All right. All right. Yeah, hold on. Let me put it in the chat. I send it to you again, but I'm gonna put it in the chat too. My man, G5 Jeff TV, aka the Guru, in the building. What's good?
What up? What up?
What's up, man? Yeah, man. I was getting ready to hop off, and I was getting ready to jump on yours, but I didn't realize you was commenting, man. I was so in the zone.
Yo, your joint. It sound. You got it on in the background. Hold on. It might be me.
Hold on. Yeah.
No, it was me. My bad. My bad. All right, we good. What's up with you, bro?
Ain't much, man. Just going over these notes, man. Just chopping it up.
Hey, man. I seen you was on, man. I hopped off my joint because vlog wasn't feeling good, man. So I was like, all right, let me hop off this joint, go hop on yours real quick. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to everybody listening, man. You know what I'm saying? We just chopping it up, doing what we do.
What's up, man?
Look, what you talking about? I said, yo, that's clean, bro. That's clean, bro.
Yeah.
That is clean, bro.
Yes, sir.
That is clean.
Yeah, man. Like since I ain't done an episode in a few weeks, I was just starting it off with, going back a few weeks ago, starting it off with Shakur Stevenson versus Rosen. And then I was talking about Joyce and Joseph Parker. And then I moved, I was just going through my notes. Then I moved forward, into the news with this week, Conor Benn and Eubank being called off. And then Fundora and Ocampo on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, Shakur looked real good, man. Like Shakur looked real good. They did like 10,000 in his hometown. That's definitely good news.
Sure.
If he can't get a big opponent, they can just get an opponent, just go right back to his hometown. They know they're gonna make some money. So Shakur looked real good. Joyce looked real good. You gotta make the claim he's a top 4 heavyweight right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's definitely like a top 4 heavyweight, top 5 for sure. At heavyweight, man. Like not many people's gonna do that to Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? So
he was the first one to knock him out, and he did it, did it in a devastating fashion, man. I knew Parker wasn't gonna get up from that. And plus, his face was busted, like face was cut up, and he was bleeding and everything. So
his power, Joyce power different. Like he got that thudding power. Like it's not a lot of dudes is really taking that power, man. So he looked real good. The Conor Benn situation is just. So much money got screwed up in that fight. Like them dudes both were supposed to make like career high paydays. I mean, like generational wealth type paydays. And I'm kind of, feel bad for Chris Eubank Jr. because he was trying to make 157 pounds. And now he's not going to make no money off of this fight because the dude popped dirty.
Yeah, so I was reading that he was supposed to do another sample or something, but that's not true.
So what happened was it was 2 different testing agencies. So it was UCAD. UCAD is out of the UK, and that's their most prominent, drug testing agency. And then of course you got VADA, who's known as the best drug testing agency on the planet. And what happened was UCAD tested Conor Benn and it came back clean. VADA tested Conor Benn, and it came back dirty. He had traces of a female fertility drug in his system. And the thing is, UCAD and VADA is 2 completely separate companies. So UCAD probably took the test on a date, and Conor Benn probably was clean. And VADA took the test on another date, and he popped dirty. But basically, the drug is for athletes use it to mask anabolic steroids, and it helps boost testosterone. Anybody that doesn't believe me, you could just Google what the drug is that he got tested positive for, and it'll literally tell you that on Google. So I'm not, promoting any propaganda or anything like that. And it's not something that just pops in your system. Like it's not one of them type of drugs. Like it's literally a female fertility drug. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so it's just, so when you pop dirty, you get an A. So that was the A sample. So when they take the test, you know, when they take your sample, like your blood, like they basically put it like in 2 different tubes, basically. So if the first one popped dirty, you can go to the B sample. They call it the B sample. But more than likely, they probably not going to test the B sample. You know what I'm saying? But they're
Right.
supposed to. They're supposed to. So it's going to be interesting to see. But 9.9 out of 10, the B sample is going to come back the same as the A sample. And that's just what it is. I see my guy Chris G in the building. My boxing son is in the building.
Yeah, say,
You know what I
yo, big
mean?
shout out to Chris G, man.
Big shout out to Chris G, man. So I don't know what's going to happen with the B sample, but that's a lot of money that got screwed up
Yeah.
by Conor Benn, man.
Yeah. So we got 2022, man. We got a lot of fights that's just been called off, setbacks,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different reasons, man.
Yeah,
Broner, the Broner, the mental health with Figueroa,
yeah.
Mickey Bay, Tevin Farmer,
Forgot about
Jake
that one.
Paul, Hassim Rahman. So it's just been a lot of fights, man. That's been having setbacks. So man, it's a it's a bad way, we ending, 2022,
Yeah.
man. So Chris G, there's no reason to be talking clothing unless you want to find his juices.
Yeah, Chris G, I agree 100%, man. Like it's just it's a female fertility drug. Like it's just
So why do you think
it's
he's taking it though? I mean,
well, it's used to mask steroids, mask anabolic steroids. You can literally Google it, and it says like you can I think it's called clomiphene. So you can literally type in Google, why do athletes take clomiphene, and it'll literally say to boost testosterone and to mask steroids. So I think if he's guilty, if quote unquote, if he's guilty and he knew he was taking this, then when people are on the juices, it's a cycle. Like you cycle on and you cycle off of these drugs. And it's very specific, like it's down to the day, down to the hour. And if you're if you're a day off or 6 hours off or something like that, that might be the difference between you testing positive or negative.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's just there's so many banned drugs on the VADA list, and they're all for a reason. Like they're all for a reason, and it's the boxer's responsibility to make sure what you're putting in your body, and that comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. So hopefully he can recover from this. But if he's guilty, and he knew what he was doing, then the best punishment for a person is to hit their pockets.
Yeah. So you think he was just trying to have an advantage because he think Chris Eubank was just a better fighter, so he was just trying to go into that fight with an advantage.
I to be honest with you, bro, I don't know. Like I don't know. I just know that if you look at Conor Benn's pictures maybe about 2-3 years ago compared to his pictures right now, he looked like two completely different people.
Wow.
It looked like somebody just took another body, and just put it on him. Like he's completely like jacked. And I'm not saying that you can't get like that through working out and working hard and working the honest way. I'm not saying that, but it's just he looks completely different, man. Like he looks completely different. And I don't know if he was doing it on purpose or something happened, somebody spiked this stuff. I don't know. But that's not something that just pops up in your system from like a vitamin or something. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
So
So
do you think he could have been taking this in prior fights, like because we seen this with we could take Big Baby Miller,
mhm.
he was spot numerous times and got a big suspension.
Yeah, he had all the GNC in his system. He
Right.
he had all the he had all the herbs and berries in his joint, man. Like
Yeah, the vitamin shop in the system, man.
yeah, he definitely had the vitamin shop in there, the whole left wall, like just
Right.
all of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the thing that's
Yeah.
crazy, bro, the reason why he didn't get a longer suspension is because at the time that he was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua, and people don't talk about this, he wasn't even licensed in the state of New York.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't even licensed when he got popped. So he didn't even have a boxer's license. but he got
and he's from New York too, right?
He's from New York. Yeah, like he didn't have a boxer's license at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just I don't know if Conor Benn was using it on a regular, but if he was using that on a regular basis, it's a simple fact of him just getting the cycle dates wrong. He just you cycle on, you cycle off, and you have to be exact as far as the dates is concerned, and you got to track it the right way. And no boxer is going to take PEDs without somebody behind them that's an expert on it, and they're instructing them on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. No boxer's just taking it just by themselves. Like there's somebody in their ear telling them how to take it, when to take it, when to do this, and when to do that. It's literally a system. And I was podcast while I jumped on yours. If you look at the boxing, if you look at the baseball scandal from back in the day when Jose Canseco and all of them was getting popped for drugs and all of that, it was literally a story out that was saying that, you know, Alex Rodriguez was literally on the phone with somebody saying, hey, do I take this pill at 2:30 or 2:45? And they like, nah, don't take it at 2:30, take it at 2:45. Do I take the yellow pill at 6 or 6:30? Like these are literally the conversations that they're having with the person that's actually an expert in that area. So a boxer that's taking peds, like it's somebody in their ear instructing them on when to do it, when not to do it, and what to do to pass the test. So I hope that's not the case, but it definitely looks like it, bro. It looks like it.
So you think a lot of these fighters, their team could be behind it too?
Hell yeah, bro. Bro, I'm a firm believer that the majority of the sport is on peds. I'm a firm believer of that, and I think it's like an old saying, like if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. And a lot of boxing is a dirty sport. It's a dirty game. Boxing's not regulated. It's not regulated. And to be honest with you, and I ask people this all the time, Legend, who do you know outside of VADA that catches people?
Right.
Nobody outside of VADA catches people. Right. None of the like the Nevada State Athletic Commissions, your local state commissions, none of them. USADA never caught nobody. The people that was USADA was running the Olympic drug testing, and they never caught anybody. When it was obvious that the Russians and a bunch of other people was doping. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just a bad situation all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but ain't the what do you call it, the VADA testing or something? Don't they go to the people's houses or something like that?
Yeah, VADA goes to. They will run up on you wherever. You can be at the corner store, the bodega, and they will run up on you and be like, "Yo, we need this test like right now." You know what I'm saying? Like we need it right now. Like they will run up on you wherever. It don't matter if it's at your house or wherever. It don't matter.
So you think they the most strict ones?
They are the only ones. If there's a drug testing agency that has popped any boxer for peds outside of VADA, please let me know because I'm not aware of it. They're the only ones that test people. They're the most stringent and they cost the most too because they test for absolutely everything. You know what I'm saying? Like a regular drug test, right? They may do a blood and urine, but they may only be testing for certain things. So it's a lot of things that they're not testing for. And in boxing, inside the sport of boxing, if you're not taking a VADA test, if you get caught.
Yeah. That's
just what it is.
Yeah, that's why, I respect Floyd so much, because like when he was having his fights, he was always saying his opponent got to take a drug test. You know what I mean? I respect him for, just taking a stand. Because like, as I was saying earlier before you came on, man, it's so many boxers. It's so many boxers that's died.
Facts.
The Matthias fight when he fought the Russian, Creighton Austin Hill, he passed away. Patrick Day. And I was just reading about a boxer named Louis Quinones. I wasn't familiar with him, but he just had a fight and he passed. So I mean, boxers are down in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, something definitely. Yeah.
And my guy Tree James out of Iowa, man, big shout out to him. Like he does a lot of his training out of the Crawford gym, and he just had a procedure done on his head, and he had to retire. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a dangerous sport, man. Like, it's a dangerous sport. and it's not regulated, man. Like it's never been regulated, never will be regulated. And it's just a dangerous thing, man. So we're gonna see what happens, man. Chris
Yeah.
G is busy in the comments,
Yeah.
bro.
Let me get to it, man. Say PD users, I know personally told me Clomid is a must for after use to level out your hormones and what they call the post-cycle therapy, post-juice therapy.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
So this is an example. Canelo got caught with trace amounts. Water cannot detect clenbuterol 12 days after last use, and they probably checked Canelo on the 13th day. That's the reason for trace amounts. So if they slightly improve their methods, that's how athletes get caught, I think. So 80 to 90% is on PDDs. I get heat for saying that all the time, but they don't want to hear the truth.
A legend. So Chris just gave you all facts, right?
Right.
Chris G really didn't start getting deep into boxing until like we linked up. Like he'll tell you that. So the fact that he knows all that, just imagine somebody that's like really, really, really deep in the game. Imagine what they know. If Chris G knows all that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like the testing is a joke. Like, the testing is a joke. Anything outside of VADA is a joke. Like, they will literally laugh at you if you get caught on a test that's not VADA. And that's just the facts of it. Like, and the reason why Chris G says 80 to 90% of these dudes is popping is probably dirty is because at the end of the day, these dudes, they're trying to compete. They're trying to compete. And if they know 90% of the people are cheating, they're gonna have to cheat too, or they're gonna have to get out of the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and that was a great point you made earlier as far as Floyd is concerned. Floyd, one of my favorite fighters of all time. But the thing about Floyd is Floyd always controlled his surroundings. Floyd always controlled his environment inside and outside of the ring. So nothing really got by him. But the thing is, he promoted drug testing to a high extent, but he promoted drug testing with a company that never caught anybody. But he put the fear in his opponents to where, yo, you better come into this fight clean or you're going to get caught. But if you actually think about it, none of Floyd's opponents got caught. None of Floyd's opponents got caught. I think all of them dudes came in clean because they didn't know what was going to happen because he was promoting it so much. People forget that Floyd was promoting USADA. He wasn't promoting VADA.
Also,
so technically,
so he wasn't using VADA for his fights?
Nah, he was using USADA. So technically, Floyd never took a VADA test. Floyd himself never took a VADA test. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just the game is so deep right now where if you're not on the inside, bro, you missing out on so much. And Legend, you know the conversations we have like off camera. Like they get deep. You know what I'm saying? That's. We know somebody's manager, somebody's promoter, somebody's cut man or sister, brother, cousin. Like we know somebody to where we have so much information that we can't talk about on camera. Like if you knew what I knew, if you knew what Legend knows, and especially like Shane, like we know quite a bit. So a lot of this stuff is not a surprise to us. And it's a lesson at the end of the day. Like if I had like my son, I wouldn't want my son to get into boxing. I wouldn't want him to get into boxing, man, because it's like you gotta play the politics game and all of that, man. And it's like it has this Conor Benn thing kind of like overshadowed so much that, like you said, man, like the Fundora card is a nice ass card, bro.
Yeah,
it's a nice
I can't
card.
Wait. Yeah, I can't wait. Hey, so what? You know much about his opponent? I honestly don't know much
Ocampo,
about him.
Ocampo was solid. People only remember Ocampo for the Spence fight.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, like, but Ocampo was solid. Now he's going to be competitive in a sense of like he's entertaining. Like it's not going to be hard for Fundora to find him. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a good stay busy fight for Fundora, especially coming off of the war that he had with Erickson Lubin. Big shout out to Lubin. I think so. It's a solid comeback fight, but Fundora's right in line for a title shot.
Yeah,
He's right in line for a title shot, man. I think it's a solid matchup. The fight I'm really interested in, bro, is Mean Machine versus Michael Fox, man. That's the fight that I'm
but,
looking for, man. Like
uh,
that might be the fight
it's
of the
Fox
night.
from Maryland. I may
I
be
think
thinking of
Fox.
somebody.
I think Fox is from Maryland. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
Okay,
of course, he was robbed on that card, on that PBC card against the Brazilian guy, and
okay.
so Michael Fox's name has been kind of like buzzing in the streets since then. So it's good to see him get another opportunity. But that's a solid card, man, up and down.
Yeah, man.
Solid card.
Fundora, man. Yeah, Fundora. Like, even though he's got the height and he's got the reach, man, he don't. You would think he would stand back and fight, like a Wilder, but he stands in the pocket and trade with you. That's what makes Fundora so interesting, especially
Yeah.
to be his height, man. Like
Yeah,
he trades with you.
Fundora. Yeah, Fundora, he definitely doesn't use his physical attributes to his advantage. He definitely doesn't. He's a guy with 6'6", something like
Right,
that.
right.
And you would figure he'd just be on the outside popping the jab, popping the jab. But the thing about Fundora that makes him special is that there's a lot of dudes at 6'6", and they don't know how to fight on the inside. They don't know how to fight when they get down and dirty. So actually him not using his physical attributes, and he probably hasn't been using them his whole career. If he ever decided to stay on the outside and jab, he will be unstoppable. He will be
Yeah,
unstoppable. But the thing is, it's hard. He's such a tough cover because he can stay on the outside and get you, and then he can get on the inside and get you too. And it's like he's 6'6", but his shots are very compact, very short. Like he don't his shots don't come from out here. His shots
right.
is here, like in here. Like everything is close. And that's how the good trainers teach you. Like everything is tight, even though he's 6'6". You never see nothing real wide with him. That's why he doesn't get caught as much as people think he gets caught. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
but I think he's a guy like we've seen guys like Fundora, just not as tall, man. Take like a Paul Williams. Like Paul
mhm.
Williams, he was like 6'4", real tall for the weight,
Facts.
and giving dudes a business. Take like a Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns, he didn't use his physical attributes later on in his career. You know what I'm saying? Where he just really just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get on the inside and start banging.
Yeah,
And so it's guys that we've seen that had great physical attributes, and they don't
yeah.
use
Like
them.
we could take Gerald Washington. Like he had the height and the reach, but like when he fought Kalinaki, man, like I don't know what the game plan was for that fight, man, but it was horrible, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some
Kalinaki was just
dudes.
rocking him, man.
Yeah, he's another dude that like didn't. I don't think he uses physical attributes enough, but I think ultimately his chin just caught up with him. He just can't. He just don't have any punch resistance anymore. But Gerald Washington's fought a lot of dudes, man. Like he's fought a lot of dudes. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah,
just his chin
facts.
is not gonna hold up anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so do you think guys who like after they fight Wilder that their chin gets real shaky? After Washington lost to Wilder, he's had a lot of KO losses. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Even
yeah,
Luis Ortiz, man, Luis Ortiz, after those two
yeah,
fights with Wilder, his chin has been shaky. So you
yeah.
could add
I,
that, or
I
you could add that with the fact that he could really be older. You know what I mean? Everybody
absolutely.
always say he's 50 plus years old.
He's definitely sponsored by was it AARP? He's definitely sponsored by AARP.
Yeah,
he go ahead icy hot on his trunks, bro.
yeah, for real, man.
Facts,
Yeah,
bro. He
yeah,
definitely in
yeah,
his
yeah.
50s for sure. He
Yeah,
definitely in his 50s.
speaking of Ortiz, man, Ortiz, I remember years ago, Ortiz, he was even popped for PEDs, if I'm not mistaken.
And it was a female fertility drug too. It
Yeah,
was it was a female fertility drug, man. So it's just like it's crazy, man, because it's like you see it so much in boxing. It's like you're not even surprised. And the thing about it is, like with the suspension protocols, it's like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. Like they
facts.
giving these dudes 6 months. Like dudes take 6 months in between fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yo, Luis Ortiz is like super old, bro.
Yeah. Like I said, man,
Like
he's
his
got my
bone.
respect, man. He's got my
No, he got
respect.
my respect. No, he definitely got my respect. I'm definitely still gonna crack jokes on him, but he definitely has my respect though. Like for real. Like but it goes to show how things can change and so quickly. He was a boogeyman at one point.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I was saying.
Luis
That
Ortiz was the boogeyman of the heavyweight
yeah,
division, according to a lot of people.
yeah, that's what I know. That's what makes it sad for me at this point for him, man, because like the fact that he's been knocked out, in so many different fights now. Like this is the guy that was once the boogeyman. Now his chin is so bad. So it's sad to see that, the boogeyman is going through all that now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but you know what though? Like he been the boogeyman for so long that he never had a real true test. So once
Yeah, facts.
people got to realize like when you're considered like the quote unquote boogeyman, when you actually face somebody that wants to fight you, they have to go through an adjustment too. They so used to people running from them, like when they actually get somebody standing in front of them, they looking like, oh, you really want to fight? Okay, let me psych myself up. Let me get myself together. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah,
It's a two-way street with that. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, so the heavyweight division is not stat, like, the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
But that everybody was always saying that Ortiz's best win was Brian Jennings. I guess
That's
proud
a
to him fighting. I guess
that's a
proud to him
fact.
fighting Wilder.
That's a fact. Like that's a fact. That was probably his biggest win, probably his most credible opponent. Um
And Malik
at that
Scott,
particular time. Yeah, Malik Scott.
but
Um
he kept getting up though. Like he got up
yeah.
so many times in that fight, man.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying though. Like it's just Luis Ortiz, he's done everything he could in the sport. I'm just glad that he got his opportunity. It just didn't work out for him.
Yeah,
But like Wilder different.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Wilder different. Like he definitely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just get into Chris comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, Truth Jeff. So, I didn't know Fundora was fighting until a few days ago.
See?
When is Benavidez gonna fight? You got any word? Only thing I see is rumors of Benavidez versus Andre, but I wouldn't even consider it rumors, just people talking. What's the best fight for Andre right now? Let me get into Andre too. Fundora can hit you with an uppercut from the outside.
Facts.
Yeah. Yeah, Ortiz is the 50,000-year-old ancient alien mummy.
That's a fact,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. So yeah, man. As far as Andre, man, like I mean, I know his promotion company before he got with Hearn. Like he was only fighting like once a year. So like
Yeah.
to me, when he got with Eddie Hearn, he was definitely staying busy, but
Mm-hmm.
he still wasn't fighting the names that nobody wanted to see him fight. So
Right.
now I'm reading he's not with Hearn anymore, and I seen Hearn say that it's just hard to get in Andre the big fights. I mean, I don't think anybody's scared of him, but I mean, so why is it so hard for him to get big fights? You know what I mean? But I mean, like you said, he's got some blame to take too, because he's
facts.
turned down he turned down the fight with Charlo like years
Yeah.
ago
That
because he
was
wasn't happy with the purse.
yeah, I think Andre signing with Hearn, I wasn't necessarily mad at that because Hearn kept him busy. Number one, number two, he actually had the guys. He had a good amount of guys for Andre to fight. He had the Billy Joe Saunders. He had Canelo. He had guys like Danny Jacobs, John Ryder. Like I understand why he signed with Hearn. I always felt like Hearn did not do right by him. And when you sign on to Eddie Hearn, you sign with the zone. Like that's literally what it is. Like you sign
Right.
with the zone. And obviously Andre was no priority of the zone, like at the time.
Right.
At no time he was a priority at all. And the thing about it is he did get him a big fight. He got him the Billy Joe Saunders fight, but Billy Joe popped for the finest juices. And where Hearn made his mistake is he let Billy Joe Saunders come back from that, basically a suspension in a sense, and he let him fight somebody else. if he really cared about Adrien and wanted to get Adrien a prime opportunity, he should have told Billy Joe Saunders, when you come off your vacation, the only option you have is Adrien. You either fight Adrien or you're on the shelf.
Right.
That's what he should have did. But Eddie Hearn doesn't do things in the best interest of his company or for boxing business. Like, he's more so of a fan than a person that know how to move in a room full of vultures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not him. So that was his one opportunity, and then he didn't get any other opportunity. He didn't get the Danny Jacobs fight. He didn't get the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Who else am I forgetting? He couldn't get him a John Ryder fight. Couldn't get him a John Ryder fight. A Eubank fight. There's so many guys that Eddie Hearn could have put the squeeze on and been like, yo, you got to fight Adrien. But he just didn't make it happen. And so I understood why he didn't sign with Al Heyman, because Al only had like two guys. All he had was really Charlo. Both of the Charlos
Right.
would have fought him because they don't like him. But that's all they really had to offer. So I just think it's just bad business. I think part of it is bad luck. At this point, to be honest with you, he should just call Al, yo. He should just call Al and get whatever deal he can get, man. Because nobody's, at least Al, he's not gonna fight often with Al, but at least Al is gonna give him an opportunity to get a big fight, whether that's a Charlo or whatever the case may be. He can get it put in his contract, but he's probably one of the more unfortunate fighters in the sport, and he's one of the best. Like, he's one of the best. I hope Benavidez gives him an opportunity. To be honest with you, that might be his best bet. I think he loses to Benavidez. I think it could.
He's a free agent now, though, right?
Yeah, he's a free agent. But see, this is the problem, though. Sometimes it's worse for you to be a free agent than for you to actually be with somebody. Because if you want to keep your independence, right? Like, no fighter, no promoter is going to give you a shot against their guy, especially if they have a belt, if they don't get options on you. Like, they're going to want to get options on your next couple fights. So that's why Devin Haney had to give up his independence. He was a free agent, but in order for him to get a chance at unification against a Cambosis, he had to sign on with Top Rank. He had to sign on with Bob Arum. Bob Arum's not going to give him an opportunity unless he has options on him. That's just how the game go. So Adrien, he has nowhere else to go but Al Heyman. Like, he can't sign with Eddie Hearn again. He's not going to do that. He can't sign with Frank Warren. He don't have enough bodies. He can't sign with Golden Boy. The only person he can fight is Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia has been ducking him for years. The only place he can sign with is Al Heyman. Like, that's it. Like, he should just call Al Heyman, work out whatever deal he can work out, and try to close out the rest of his career, maybe the last 4 or 5 fights of his career, and make them as significant as he can.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I agree, man. But I remember even before his fight just fell out, I knew you said he wasn't going to take that purse, and he didn't.
Hell no, that joint was $305,000, man. I think the split was like, I think he was gonna get like 170, 180 of that.
Yeah, that's right.
I know we not banking like that, but I think me and you combined might be making about that much. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's just the math ain't making no sense on that. But that's why I think he just need to go. But that's what free agents get, though. Free agents get that. You know what I'm saying? If he was signed to Eddie Hearn, that probably doesn't happen. If he signed to Al, that probably doesn't happen. Even if he signed with Golden Boy, that's probably not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not happening at the end of the day. So he just gonna have to pick. I think he just got to call Al Heyman. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, Al Heyman ain't trustworthy all the way either. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's his best bet, bro.
Yeah, but just like you saying, Crawford. With him not being with Bob Arum anymore, you saying now it's even harder for him to get the Spence fight.
Facts. We just talked about that, bro. We just talked about that. Yeah. Like, he he has no leverage. He has no leverage whatsoever. Like he can't fight. He can't go back to top rank because of the lawsuit. He
Right.
burned that bridge to the ground. Then he can't sign with Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn don't have nobody. He can't. What is he going to sign with Oscar De La Hoya for Virgil Ortiz? Like, I mean, that don't make any sense. So the only place he has to go is Al. So basically, with these Spence and Crawford negotiations, let's just keep it 100% real. Al Heyman's putting the squeeze on Terence Crawford.
Yeah,
Terence
so
Crawford is not signing with him long term, so he's giving him, leaves off the tree. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
So what's like a 65, 35 split or something like that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's a 65-35 split. But the thing is, Spence is getting a guaranteed number. Crawford's not getting a guaranteed number. He's getting 35% of a question mark. He's gonna be the last person to get paid if he signs this. That's why he was talking about, oh, I need to see expense sheets and this, that, and the third. That's not happening with Al. Al ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the best thing Crawford can do is we know the deal going to be shitty. He has no leverage. Like, the deal is going to be shitty. Like, the most he can do is sign this contract and go win. That's the only thing he can do, bro, is go in and win. Like, he has... It's nothing he can do, bro. Like, it's either ride with Al or he's done for the rest of his career, basically. The only people he could fight outside of the PBC banner is Virgil Ortiz and Conor Benn. And Conor Benn just popped dirty. So Virgil Ortiz would literally be his only legit option at 147 pounds. And then he can go to 154 because Al Heyman run 154 too.
Facts.
Stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll beat Ortiz. I think it's too early for Ortiz to take that fight anyway.
Yeah, Virgil.
Even though he's got all knockouts, man, it's still too early for him to take on a fighter like Crawford, man.
Virgil is not ready. Like, yeah, but outside of Virgil, I mean, what Bud gonna go on a European tour? Like, he gonna fight what, David Avanesian? Was he gonna fight a Josh Kelly or something like it's just, he's just stuck, bro. Like, he's gonna have to sign a contract, whatever it is. He's gonna have to sign a contract, bite the bullet, and go take it out on Spence on fight night. That's the only thing he can do, bro.
Yeah, and I like what you said. Like, just spoil it. Dylan White don't show up. Don't show
That's
up to no press conference, but on fight
I'll
night,
probably
go on there, just fuck
bro.
Up, man. You know
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong for saying that, bro. But I truly believe it, bro. Like, he has no choice. He has no choice, man. Like, it's just it's real screwed up, man. Like, boxing is so screwed up because people in the States really don't spend their money on boxing. They talk about boxing all the time, but nobody really spends their hard-earned money on boxing. Like, you gotta think about it. Fury and Dillian White had a purse bid of $42 million. And the two of the top 5 fighters in the United States of America in a unification fight for all the marbles might be the most important fight made in probably the last 5 years. Like, they're literally arguing over breadcrumbs right now. Like, these dudes in reality, they probably should be getting $20+ million a piece in a perfect world. In a perfect world, but we just not in a perfect world, man. Like, Bud, listen to your boy. Sign that contract and don't show up to nothing. Matter of fact, come on in this corner podcast, rock out with the legend, rock out with your boy G5. And while they having a press conference, you can be on here with us. Facts. We can just talk and just shoot the breeze, man. Shoot the breeze. Facts. We ain't showing up to no press conferences, no nothing. Come on the Legends podcast and rock out. You know what I'm saying? We go from there.
Yeah. But like, even though Dylan White, took such a small purse, man, I don't think in that Fury fight, I don't think he showed up and did what he needed to do, man. Like,
Dylan White.
And then trying to cry about Fury pushed him. Like,
I was so pissed off, bro. Because I've been lobbying for Dillian White to get a title shot for years, bro. Like, 3-4 years straight, man. I'm like, yo, he should have been had the title shot.
Mm.
And for him to go in there and drop a dud like that, man, like I'm glad he got paid, but I mean, he looked bad, man. Like he looked real bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't ever even really give him a shot against Fury, man. I know you may have, but yeah, I just didn't, man.
I thought he was gonna be competitive. I thought Fury was gonna win the fight. I thought he's definitely gonna win the fight. I just thought Dillian White was gonna be competitive, man. Like, and he just went in there and was like, I think he already cashed the check before the fight started, man. I think he was, man, it was ugly, bro. But it's just, it goes to show like how the game can go sometimes, man. I think his chin is broken. He's had one of the more solid chins, but think about it. His last couple fights, he been knocked out clean.
Right.
You
Was
know
it
what I'm saying?
it was it wasn't Pulev? Was it Pulev?
No, it was Povetkin. It was Povetkin.
Povetkin. Yeah,
Povetkin knocked him out ice cold. Yeah, ice cold. Yeah, and then Tyson Fury knocked him out, and he was on Dream Street. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the game crazy, man. The game is absolutely crazy, man. We did some crazy times right now.
Yeah. So you think Buddy McGirt can make some serious changes for him?
Nah, not at this point, man. I think he should have made that move. If he was gonna make that move, he should have made that move. Probably when he changed trainers before the first Povetkin fight. And he changed trainers right before that fight. And before that knockout, Dillian White looked great. He looked great in that fight before the knockout happened. He was up 4 rounds to nothing, and he got a knockdown. He got 2 knockdowns in that fight. He was mopping Povetkin. He was mopping him, and he just got caught with the perfect shot. Whether you want to say it's luck or it was strategized, however you want to put it, but he got caught with the perfect shot. You know.
Yeah. Let me get into Chris' comments.
Go ahead.
So Benavidez versus Andre, y'all think it's happening? Andre turned down Janovic twice, Parker twice, Charlo, Derchenko openly didn't want to fight Law. PBC is the best bet for Andre. Good paydays, and Charlo Benavidez options. All 3 of his KO losses were by uppercuts. Dylan White, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. They have to, whatever trainer he goes with, you don't get hit with that's the same shot multiple times, and it's not something fundamentally wrong you're doing. He's doing things fundamentally wrong. I don't want to say what, because I don't want to come off like I'm a trainer, but you can watch Dillian White and you can see what he's doing wrong fundamentally, why he's getting caught with so many uppercuts. And they're devastating uppercuts too. They're not the light joints. Like dudes is getting they weight into it, and he's catching those shots, man. And the troubling thing about it is he's not seeing them. It's not like he's seeing the shots and he's just reacting late. He's not seeing them at all, and that's the most troubling thing. And I don't think Buddy McGirt can fix that. I don't know if Dillian White can be fixed, period. Like with AJ going with like Robert Garcia, like I don't think he can be fixed either. Like he can be tweaked in a couple of different areas, but like a complete change, nah, I don't see it.
Yeah. So who was Dylan White knocked out? He was knocked out too. I know he's knocked out the Fury. He's knocked out the Povetkin. Who else did he get uppercut by? He said
AJ
really.
AJ caught him by AJ caught him, but I think AJ caught him too. Okay. AJ caught him too. Yeah, and then there's also like sparring stories where he's been getting caught with uppercuts as well. I keep that in the vault though. Yeah, I keep that in the vault though. Keep that in the vault though. So
yeah. So what else you want to get into, man?
Chris getting busy in the comments. He said what did he say? Andre turned down Janabek twice, Parker twice, Charlo Derevianchenko openly didn't want to fight Laura. Just to respond to that, the Janabek and the Parker situation, both of those situations, he was at the tail end of his contract with Eddie Hearn. Not saying that that's an excuse, but when you're talking about a guy that makes a lot of business mistakes, you definitely got to factor that in. Because he's made mistakes under normal circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised about that. Charlo Derevianchenko situation. Like I said, he wasn't signed with Al, so this is some things Al ain't gonna allow to happen, and I don't think he put his best foot forward either. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Say
it's
Law,
just
but yeah, Law, man, Law to me, man, Law is a born fighter, man. Just to me, but, like he did give Hurd one hell of a fight though. But that was probably one of my best performances from Law, man. But other than that, man, to me, he's just born fighter to me.
I can't stand watching Laura in the ring, man. Like Laura. Yeah, I'd rather take a math test, man. He gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
He bored, man.
Yeah.
But nah, I ain't really got nothing else to really rap about, bro.
Yeah, but I know you were speaking on Richardson Hitchens. He's signed with Eddie Hearn now, right? And he's fighting on Montana Love's undercard. If I'm not mistaken, they had some words in the past.
Yeah. They got actually that's I'm glad you mentioned that, bro, because I haven't had a chance to really speak on that, man. Like Richardson Hitchens, him signing with Eddie Hearn, I think that's a good look for him. I think it's a good look because I think signing with Floyd, that's like signing to a funeral home, man. Like it just no disrespect to him, but it's just it's all about Floyd. Like it's all about Floyd. He's not gonna let a guy max out under his watch. Like Tank is amazing what Tank is doing under his watch, but even Tank is, he got the leash on him. You know what I'm saying? I think Richardson Hitchens, I think they're building up to that fight. Richardson Hitchens and Montana Love. I think that's a great fight.
Yeah,
I think that's a
for
great
next
fight.
Year. Yeah.
If
they get past their opponents, for sure, man.
That'll be. I had to pull up for that one. I hope it's in the States. I would have to pull up for that one. I don't pull up much, but I will pull up for that one. And they've had words. They definitely have history. They've had words in the past outside of what you're talking about too. They've had words in the past period, so they got a little history. I think that's a great matchup. I think 140 may be the hottest division. It might be the deepest division in boxing. Like 140, I mean, you can go about 15, 20 deep, and they all quality guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you saw, I know Montana Love, man. Before getting with Hearn, I don't think he was very active.
Nah, he wasn't really active like that. I was actually in the building when he fought in Philly. When he fought in Philly, man, like he's a good fighter. He's very charismatic. He's good on social media. Like he's pretty much everything that you looking for. It's just a matter of him having his moment. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of reminds me of Broner, how he carries like just without the like the obvious nonsense, but just being charismatic and things like that. He kind of reminds me of Broner, but I would love to see him and Richardson Hitchens, man. That's on like my top like 10 to 15 fights that I want to see.
Yeah.
Like within the next like year. Yeah, for sure.
So who did Love fight in Philly? Was it Sam Matthias?
Nah, it was oh my God, what's my guy name, man? He's gonna kill me. I hope he's not watching this. Oh my goodness, because me and him talk all the time, and I'm just horrible with names, bro. Hold on, I gotta look it up because it was actually supposed to be like a 50-50 fight. It was like a 50-50 fight. It was like the main event on a Showbox card. It was a main event on a Showbox card. It was in Philly at the 2300 Arena. Jericho Walton.
Okay.
Jericho Walton. They fought, I think I want to say 140. I want to say they fought at 140, and that was like a 50-50 fight going in. And Jericho Walton, for people that don't know him, he has one of the craziest backstories you'll ever hear in life. Like just go Google Jericho Walton. Like his backstory crazy. But yeah, he fought Jericho Walton in Philly, won an 8-round decision. And he's kind of just been on the come up since then.
But Sam Matthias for Philly though, right?
Same Utah from
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah, he got knocked out by Brandon Lee.
Yeah, that was a bad one, man. I
That
remember
was a
that. Yeah, that was
bad one.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was a bad
but
one, man.
yeah, but he had a bad whooping in a sparring session too. I'll tell you who off camera, but yeah, he done had a tough go. He's a solid fighter too, man. Like it's just I think
Yeah,
he just caps off at a certain point. You know what I mean?
yeah. But y'all seen I went to an amateur fight, I believe 2019, and Sam Matthias was there. Ray Mercer was in the building at the amateur fight too. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I like Ray
So
Mercer, man.
yeah, Ray Mercer was a problem back in the day, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so and also I seen Montana Love and Broner trading words. But I don't want to see that though. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
seen them
don't.
trading words, but that's
Yeah,
Ohio versus Ohio, man. I don't want to see that, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I don't want to see that. I think Broner just got to get himself right, man. Like
Yeah,
he just got to get himself right. Period, man. Inside
yeah,
and outside of boxing, he got to get himself together,
yeah,
before he takes on any fights because he believes that he should still be getting main event billing and $1 million paydays, and it's like,
yeah,
bro, like you living in the past. And I
yeah,
love Broner, man, but as a man, like sometimes you just got to get yourself together, man. So I feel like that's where he's at.
yeah. I mean, especially, he just pulling out the fight with Figueroa due to mental health, and now he's calling out Nate Diaz. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You calling out a UFC guy.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
So it's like
sure.
he's kind of
Yeah,
all over the place too.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, but like I was saying, yeah, I don't want to see Ohio versus Ohio, man. But I was saying
Nah.
before you came on, I don't know if you heard me say it. I know y'all had like, so why do you think fights like that happen anyway? City versus city, like because you had Raven
Uh,
Philly won Joey
I'll be
DeVito versus
honest. Yeah,
Brian Jennings.
yeah. To be honest with you, bro, it be the promoters. It
Okay,
be the promoters. Like Philly was known for that too. Like a lot of Philly
yeah,
guys was going up against Philly guys, and it was one promoter in particular. I'll leave his name unmentioned, but he had a real bad reputation for putting Philly guys up against Philly guys. Um, it's mainly the promoters. When you get somebody from out of town, you got to pay for their flight, you got to pay for their travel, you got to pay per diem, you got to make sure
yeah,
they straight. It's a lot of
facts,
expenses.
facts,
If you getting
facts.
dudes, if you getting a dude from 14th Street fighting a guy on 35th, that's nothing. Like it ain't
Right, yeah, that's
automatically
easy.
expensive.
Yeah,
You keep it in pocket. So that's really what it come down to is really, really dollar signs. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
you pay the extra money so your guys in your state can flourish against guys that's not in the state. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, I was in Texas for Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker. That was Texas versus Texas. But
Yeah.
man, I'll be honest, man. Virgil Ortiz had the crowd, man. He
Oh
had the
yeah,
crowd.
for sure.
Yeah, he had the crowd for
Like
sure, man.
yeah, Maurice Hooker's like from Texas, but he's kind of like a non-factor in Texas.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
anybody that's from a state and they haven't put like a hometown fight on,
yeah,
then they just really like from the state. Like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. I'm not a fan of Hooker though. To be honest with you, man.
Man, I'm not a
He's
fan of I'm not a big fan of Hooker
yeah.
either, man.
I
It's
know he's a former champion, but man,
yeah,
he's on the downgrade, man.
yeah, for sure. He's definitely on the downside for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, let me just get into these last comments. What he said.
Okay.
Say, hey Jeff, you got any behind the scenes knowledge on Benavides?
I'll call you.
Shout out to Jeff. He predicted J Rod upset with Swift. He got receipts.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's a fact.
speaking of that, man, I was actually in Vegas. I had traveled to Vegas, and I was actually out walking. I was actually out walking on the strip, and I hurried up and got back to the hotel room just to catch that fight, man.
What fight?
Uh, J Rock and J Rock and her.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
actually in Vegas, man. I was walking the strip at that time, man. I got back to
yeah,
the room early just because it's a different time zone out in
yeah,
Vegas.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
it
man.
was
That's how much a fan I am, man. I was right in Vegas, you know what I mean? I could have been
yeah.
out partying and all that, but
Oh yeah,
I
for
got back
sure.
to the room, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure, man. It's yeah, it was just we was just hearing really good things from J Rock in that camp before the Herd fight. and we was hearing bad things about her for that fight. So we kind of just put 1 and 2 together and just kind of just, guessed it. But that was the same thing with J-Rock and Rosario. We was hearing really good things about Rosario, and we was hearing some really bad things about J-Rock and camp before that fight. So, I mean, sometimes you hear that behind the scenes information, man. It kind of sways your opinion a little bit.
Yeah. And I think Rosario got an upcoming fight too, if I'm not mistaken. I read it
Man,
somewhere.
I need for him to get his ribs checked, man.
For real, yeah,
Knocked out with it.
Charlo jabbed him to the body, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he went down from a jab to the body. Yeah,
yeah, he responded like he got the bubble guts, man. Like he had something bad to eat. Like this,
facts,
that's
man,
crazy.
facts. Yeah, so how long did you do your podcast though?
It's about like an hour. It's about like an hour.
Yeah.
We cut it short. We cut it short today because vlog wasn't feeling good, so I got him and got him out.
So I've been doing this for 1 hour 30. So you've been doing
you cooking.
2 hours, 2 hours
You
and 30 minutes. Then.
Yeah, you cooking today, bro.
Yeah, cooking. Yeah, man. So I may just go ahead and end this one, man. Like,
okay.
Like you said, even before you jumped on, man, I was actually getting ready to close it out. But like I said, I didn't see you comment consistently like that. I was like I said, I was in the zone, man.
Nah, I appreciate you letting me get up on here, man. I know you was getting ready to get off, but I had to get in here and get mine in. So
yeah, but look, let me show you got something else on the shirt, man. I don't know if you can see it, bro.
Oh, bro, that's cool.
No BS boxing, bro.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's my slogan, man. No BS boxing.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, man. That's a great slogan to have, man. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. You're coming a long way, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Hey, did you ever check out the interview?
Yes. Good interview, man. Big shout out to him, man. Like, because you got to salute them dudes too, man. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody's going to give you a look. You know what I mean? In fact, that to give you a look, man, that was huge.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say this on camera, man, but it's a strong possibility that I can interview a former world champion. So I'll write with you about that off camera.
Okay. No, that's cool. You got the number, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, we'll close this one out, man. Hour 30 minutes strong, man. The legend, G5 Jeff TV, aka the guru in the building, man. So give me your social media, man.
Hey man, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything G5 Jeff TV, man. Website G5JeffTV.com, man. Go tap in with your boy, man. It's one of the hottest podcasts out there, man. The legend gonna be something special going down the line, man. Check for him. Show.
Facts. You can catch me on Instagram. It's the Legend 3347, and I'm on Facebook as Todd Finney. All right, man. We gonna catch y'all on the next one, man.
Hey, man. It's been a pleasure, man.
All right, for sure.
All right, bro.
Peace.